Nora, you are in a leaf. What's going on there?
Good morning, everyone.
I wanted a background that was like one color.
It works. It's
definitely one color.
Yeah. Sachin, let me know on the attendee side if you want me to pull you over to the panelist side. I'm not recalling if you registered or not, but if you did and you're on the panelist side, want to come over, just put it in chat. So hello, everyone. We're a few minutes over, so I'll get this started. This is the 7th GVDS networking event. And for those who have not seen or been part of it before, Niles, I don't think I can see you. Do you have your video on? Yeah. Abhinav's kind of there, but no, can't see you. So and by the way, if you're having any issues with Zoom, just go ahead and troubleshoot through the chat and I'll kind of like help out while I'm kind of being the master of ceremony, so to speak. So what these are meant to do, these networking events, is to have you meet not only the person that's organizing this crazy thing, but other people who have been through the Global Virtual Design Sprint before, to get a taste or an idea of what it's like to be part of the events beyond the educational material we've been sending out, and to answer your questions directly. I mean, this is an opportunity for you to ask questions like Appa did about, the people on the team. You may have some questions about the challenges or process. This is kind of the platform to do it. And it's also to inform other people that are just kind of kind of tuning in to see what this is all about, and to get an idea of everything else. So while we're talking and kind of going through the introductions and the Q&A, I'll be putting into chat some links that other people can check out that relate to some of the topics that we're talking about. But first, like we did in other ways, we're going to do introductions. And the way we do this is that one person that I call on is going to introduce themselves. You just basically say who you are, where you're located, what you're all about, and you can either choose to do a combination of both. Where are you going to go on vacation when COVID's over, and what kind of comfort food are you going to take with you when you eat it? Now, for the people that have been in the networking in the past, like I know that both Ken and Nora have been, they're going to do something different, but I'm going to wait till they're called on, and I'm going to kind of like see that at that point. So what I'm going to do first, since you were the first person on the call, Martin, I'm going to have you be the first person to introduce yourself and tell us what you're all about, where you're from, and when this whole COVID mess is over, where are you going on an all expenses paid vacation to someplace, and what are you going to do? What are you going to eat when you get there? Oh, wait a minute, you're muted, Martin.
1 second.
There you go.
Okay, that's rectified that. Yeah, hi Robert, thanks very much for giving me the honor to get out of the gate first on this. So my name is Martin. I live in Dublin in Ireland. I am a consultant, mostly focusing on very small enterprises, startups, and non-profits. I kind of focus on digital transformation, making them a little bit more effective in that area. And that has kind of led me, into the innovation space. And I recently, I'm in the process of completing a postgrad in innovation leadership with the University College of Dublin. And I've been attending a lot of sprints here locally. I got to meet one of your previous attendees, and he recommended I join this, and he gave me all the details, and I'm delighted that I have. I'm really excited about it now. Yeah, I hope to kind of, grow my sprint muscle, my design thinking, facilitation, all of those. I think this is, looks like it could be a great forum for doing all that. And, I think I can contribute, like in, lots of different areas, during the period that we're going to be together. I have a lot of market research knowledge and know-how, and yeah, and what I'm about is I'm really all about customer centricity. I've worked in the past with a lot of startups who lack that, and I'm really trying to kind of maybe drive that like that philosophy back into some of those organizations and get a lot more things right earlier in the process. If Robert's gonna, put his hand in his pocket and get me somewhere after this whole COVID, apocalypse, like it comes to an end, I'm leaning towards South America. I've traveled quite a lot in Europe, and I've been to the East and to the States. So yeah, if someone's gonna, pony up for it, I'm definitely gonna, maybe go to South America, probably start with Brazil. I think you could have a long holiday there without ever leaving the particular country and going to further. But and comfort, good man, that's it. And comfort food, I'm very open. I like eating what the locals eat. So, I would probably try and, find somewhere where, looks like a lot of people are enjoying food, and I would try and get some recommendations from everyone locally. That's kind of that's my normal game. I trust that locals know what they're doing. So that's for me.
When I was out in Rome for the first, Paris for the first time, I was taking pictures of all the food that I ate because I wanted to remember what exactly it was before I fell victim to hunger and starvation and suddenly melted down without enjoying it. Mindful eating, by the way, Nora. Got to make sure I'm doing that mindful stuff. Okay, cool. So, and by the way, so on the call, you're on team 2, and there's 2 members that are here with Caesar and Abhinav. So they're going to be pairing with you coming up, and so maybe a good. So I just want to point out, just want to key on their introductions to get to know what they're all about.
Fantastic.
So,
thank you.
So if you want to call on somebody else next, and thank you for the introduction, go ahead and pick somebody that doesn't have their hand up. So after you have your introduction, you're going to go like this, so that people can visually see who they can choose that hasn't done it before.
Right.
So
I'll be doing this from now on.
Exactly, or you can do this if you want. It's up to you if you're a Trekkie.
Okay.
But you can go ahead and pick anybody you'd like, and you have your pick of everybody.
Okay, I'm as it's shown visually in front of me. I'm going to drop straight down to the middle square on my board, and I'll pick somebody who has a familiar sounding name. So I should at least have a stab at getting this for Nora Scully.
There you go.
Oh, hi. Hi, Martin. I was looking for my mindful muddle thing. I was like, oh, that should be my background, my mindful muddle icon. I'm in Oakland, California. And what are my questions, Robert?
Your question is, so since you have already told us about your vacation spot and where you're going, and you also talk about your comfort food, let's say if you were to partner with someone very famous, it could be a movie star, a rock star, somebody, a political figure. If you were to partner with somebody on a project for your business, who would you want to do work with?
Well, I'm not so great on famous people, but I did just see a Netflix show, Enola Holmes, and the girl who she's the lead is the girl who played in Stranger Things. She was 11. She's the star in
Millie Brown.
Millie
Bobby Brown.
Yeah, she produced that Enola Holmes. And so I think, wow, what is she, 16? I'd like to partner with her because, Martin, you're studying innovation. Young minds are so wide open that I think it would be really fun to partner with, and even a group of young people to address some of the stuff we're facing today. That's really hard. Yeah, and I'm a engagement designer and facilitator. I use a lot of visuals in my practice for visual facilitation to help people understand their own process and for me to define the process for people. I also have a background in instructional design. So, right now I'm doing a contract in higher education, coaching faculty how to get through this craziness. It's really, my heart goes out to all the students and faculty right now who are trying to muddle through. And it's a pleasure. I've been to GVDS 4 and GVDS 3. I think I hosted a challenge, a femtech challenge looking at sexual wellness for women. And we came up with an app called Pleasure Adventure that looks beyond orgasm to explore pleasure for women. And And mindful model cards were the first one we did, and that was in relationship, I believe, to education. And I met Ken. So to pass it on, I will pass the baton to Ken, because I know Ken, and he's in California too.
I am, and I'm in La Mesa, California, which is just outside of San Diego, so Southern California, almost at the end of Southern California, about 15, 18 miles from the border with Mexico, actually. Robert, is my question the same? Which famous person or celebrity would I want to partner with?
Exactly.
Like Nora, I'm not a huge fan of celebrities, but every now and then they surprise me. And one who surprised me this week, who I'm just going to mention, is Arnold Schwarzenegger, of all people. I'm not a huge fan of his films as much, but he did something, and he's constantly doing things like this that are surprising. He did something this week that I thought was pretty interesting. He earlier in the month, he identified a problem where a lot of voting precincts across the country were saying that they didn't have enough money to open more polling places. And so he set out a challenge and said, if you are one of those places, reach out to me and I will find the money to help you open polling places. And a couple of days ago, he just announced that he has a huge fund and he is sending money all over the country to reopen closed polling locations because they claimed that they couldn't afford to be open. So it's that kind of thinking of leveraging a little bit of money and a lot of celebrity and notoriety that I find interesting. And so he's somebody that I would like to, I guess, either partner with or just kind of follow around for a day. Because he's also getting up there in years, but he seems to have a ton of energy. So he's somebody that I'm looking at right now.
He's a Republican, so it's kind of interesting that he's wanting to make sure everyone votes, right?
He is, and he's the kind, without getting too political, he's the kind that we need more of, because he's just like right down the middle. He's looking for solutions on both sides, and I can always support that. So, what else was I supposed to say?
That's pretty much
Robert.
it. I mean, you covered all the bases. I think we just had a Niles sighting, so I had to bring him in because he's been struggling to get in. We finally got him on the panelist side. So, hello, nice to see you. Everyone, have your hand up if you've already been introduced yourself, so that Ken knows who to kind of go after.
I also saw Niles raise his hand, so I'm going to pick him because he entered my field of vision very prominently there. So Niles, you're up.
Okay, as I missed everything so far, I learned somehow some new options about Zoom, I guess. That there's a really techie mode that you can't do anything, not even see yourself. Well, here I am. What was the question? Yeah, I'm from Berlin. My name is Niels. And this is the first time I participate in the Global Virtual Design Sprint. I'm really happy to be here. Followed it for a few months and didn't or couldn't make it last time. My background is actually design. I have like 20 years experience in branding and design and communication. I'm actually studied design like ages ago. But I'm like in a transformation mode somehow. And like a few years ago, I started to shift interests towards business design, and the whole facilitation of innovation things got much more to the center of my profile. And I'm really into design thinking and also design sprints. Haven't done much of them actually, especially in the remote setting, but I'm really firm with the method in general, and so I'm really looking forward to join that hardcore week in October. And you were talking about food, right? What's what journeys? What was it?
So so the idea is that you have I'm paying for an all expenses paid vacation to wherever you want to go. And then when you're there, you can eat whatever you want. So you just have to basically let me know what you're after when you get there.
I'd love to go to New Zealand actually with my family, just to go around the globe once, and then obviously eat all this great stuff they have over there, from kiwis to great meat, I guess.
Very nice. And for reference now, is Appa, somebody who introduced before, is going to be on your team. I believe it's, if I'm looking correctly, it's team number 6. So she made her introduction before, but just to give a face to a name, that's
I don't think I did.
Oh, you haven't done introductions.
Yeah, you didn't have
mixing up the banter that we had in the very beginning.
Now,
but I will do it. I will do it now. Hi. So my name is Appa. The full name is actually Aparajita, which is much longer. I'm originally from India, but now I live in Berlin/Prague. So I'm right now in Prague because my husband is Czech. But most probably in some of the weeks I will be in Berlin. So maybe Nils, you and I can actually meet up instead of doing it virtually. I work at EY in the innovation hub called Wavespace. I'm a workshop designer and facilitator. So I usually design strategy workshops, but also business process workshops using design thinking methods, any kind of innovation methodology, and just make it interactive. I'm mostly a remote facilitator at the moment due to COVID as well. So we use Mural quite a lot, as well as MS Teams to deliver these virtual experiences. So looking forward to kind of seeing how we can also leverage that kind of experience here in the GVDS. And the question for me was, where do I want to go? So after this whole COVID situation is over, I would like to go to India to meet my parents, who are right now quarantined in my garden house in the middle of nowhere in India, and they can't really leave. And I cannot enter because I don't have an Indian passport. So this doesn't let me enter the country, which is quite bad. But India is really bad right now in any case. But if it was just a vacation, I would go with you, Martin, to South America. I've always wanted to go. And also, like you, I'm a big foodie, so I eat local food. And the localer, the better. Our stomachs are strong as Indians, so we can take a lot. I think that's about it. Any questions? I would say.
I was gonna say, but it also depends on the region and how strong your stomach is. Like the stomachs may be stronger in the Northeast for.
I think Indian stomachs are hard to beat.
Overall,
so I think we can take a lot. But ever since I've been living in Germany, I've been living there for 3 years now. I can feel that every time I go back to India, I get more and more sick. So I think my immunity is slowly deteriorating.
Well, it may come with age too. So. I'm reduced now to rice.
Robert.
I'm reduced to rice cakes and water. That's about where I'm at. I can't do anything further than that. Otherwise I faint. So just letting you know what's coming up and when you get to.
Yeah. I think both Nora and Nils, I think we're on a team. I think Nora, you and me are on a team together for the Dash.
Yeah.
And I think Nils, you and I are together for the actual design sprint. So
yay, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'll have to point that out when I do those next
time. Let's rock
it. Then I'm gonna choose M.
The mysterious M. It almost has a James Bond feeling to it. Yeah, it's like she's basically like
that.
No, it's okay.
I will fill that out properly. I feel like every time I join a Zoom meeting, my name is different.
That's okay. It gives you that 007 feel to it right off the bat before you even do anything. So just keep the M and you're okay.
I'm Malika. I am based in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm director of product at a startup here in Raleigh, and have been in product management for a very long time. Started off as a developer at IBM before I made my switch to the startup world. I don't know that I had a question. Was there a question for me? I'm not sure what it is.
Yes, I'm paying for an all expenses paid vacation for you, Malika, and I just need to know where you want to go and what you are planning to do when you get there. Like, what are you planning on eating
Yeah.
when you get there?
So I would love, I've had this on my list for a very long time. And of course, I'm kicking myself for not just having gone to Santorini. And
I was just there
oh, really?
like a week ago.
Okay, keep it to yourself. Yeah, and I just want to sit in one of those like hotels that's carved into the rock and then just look out and sleep. And that's all I want to do when I go there. The pictures look so beautiful. We'll have to talk about it, Appa. Obviously, it's a lot easier to do that kind of thing when you're already in Europe. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's it's been on my list and hopefully it'll happen one day. But that would be the first place I would go.
And right now, Malika, I'm trying to find a team for you based on the hours that you've submitted. So that's still in flux. I may switch the teams around slightly just to kind of accommodate that, but I'm still
Yeah.
working on it.
Okay. And I may be able to like add more availability now that I'm working on my schedule. So
Okay.
I might be able to do that as well.
One thing I'll do is in the chat, I'll go ahead and share the link to the board. The board basically has on the left all the listings of the VDS teams and the times they are meeting. Okay. So the ones I did, you have from my central time, you have early morning availability, and there are a few others that do. And I may kind of pull those folks into that. That's into like kind of creating a different team of 4 so that it accommodates that. But I'm going to wait until this weekend to kind of see how things pan out, because registration ends next Friday. And usually if history is any narrative, there's going to be at least 10 more people that'll join up. So it's kind of in that weird bridge between what could be possible and just seeing how the availability of the new people that do come in and trying to find an appropriate team for you. So
right,
any one of the other 11 people on the panelist side could potentially be somebody you're working with. So
it's we're on the mystery theme. Yep. I'll also take a look at these and like see just in general when people are available and kind of go from there.
Yeah, just let me know. So everyone have your hand up if you've already done your introduction so that Malika can look at the screen and figure out who she should not call, including herself.
Okay. Nora does not have her hand up, but I'm pretty sure I would know when she spoke. Abhinav?
Yes.
Abhinav.
Thanks. Okay, so am I audible to all? Quick check.
Yeah. You are, yeah.
Okay, so Abhinav Patandi here from New Delhi, India. I'm a UX designer by profession, and I'm a psychology student currently. How I got here is probably a rumble in the jungle, or something I would like to say. Yeah, I had 10 years of experience in this particular domain of UX design. I've been working across various fields of user experience design, front-end development, product design, product development, and product management over the last 10 years. It's been quite a journey into all these various fields, and I wanted to understand the process of doing design innovation and building new products. How do we do innovation? How do we build new products? How do we come about great ideas? So this is something that I wanted to explore. Slowly and gradually, I ended up understanding design thinking and innovation. Of recently, I've done 2 sprints in innovation, one for a government funding project and one for a political party in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So that was great fun, and that actually motivates me to join this particular group to participate and exploring the various means of doing design thinking and design innovation and doing design sprints. So that's how I primarily landed into this particular area. And special thanks to Robert and Sachin. Sachin happens to be my colleague, to kind of drag me into this and motivate me to join this particular session and join this particular program. So that Sachin has been a great source of motivation for me to the entirety of the program. And what else I'm supposed to answer is my vacation destination. So I think that would be Hawaii. It's summer here, so I wanted to kind of get a bit of sea, because sitting in landlocked Delhi, you don't get access to much of sea. Sea is far from Delhi. So yeah, that's my vacation destination. Anything else I'm supposed to answer, Robert?
No, well, when you're on that vacation destination, are you going to do what others have done, already stated, where you're going to just eat locally, or are you going to bring like a bag of Doritos with you on the flight on the way there just to eat some sort of American food, or what's your preference? What do you tend to do?
So like I said, I'm missing the sea, so probably some fish would be good.
Okay, that'll work. And you are working with Sachin also on the Dash side of things, when I think Yasir is also going to be working with you. So right now you're a 3-man team, but if more people kind of are interested in that, have some availability, then we may add a 4th, possibly a 5th, but we'll see how things go. Yeah, so cool. Nice to see you yet once again. So everyone, hand up if you already done an introduction. So it gives Abhinav a chance to kind of know who not to call.
Yeah, I think I'll reach out to Sachin.
Hi all, my name is Sachin, as Abhinav said, and we are colleagues in the same company. I'm a UX designer by profession. I have done PG in design for digital experience as an education. Then with that, from last 10 years, I am majorly into the UX core designing. So when you say core designing, taking the idea till wireframe, I hardly do visuals. But the best part is I got within last 10 years, I got very good projects where I get the freedom from taking the idea into the concept, which hardly we get in India, because most of the people are looking for the screens always. So that's the best part. So recently, when COVID started, our company was looking for kind of facilitators who want to do virtual facilitation. So at that time, me and Abhinav was exploring the tools. That time we came to know about Miro and Mural, and with that, we started our passion for you can say workshop. So I was training my team also in Miro. So till date, from you can say will train them on Miro as well as they also know about the design sprints. So again, we are connecting with many people at the same time, and that's how I get to know about Robert. I learned Robert's videos from the YouTube, and now I am here. So that's the whole, you can say, dreams comes true for me, because I started in March. Now I am here. So it's almost 5 months I am here. I was learning from your videos, and now I am here. So it's, you can say, it's very short journey for me.
Well, if I can help in some way, then I'm happy for that. But
yeah. At least you helped me in came here, right? At least
yeah,
you can say that.
So, and by the way, your team number 3, has 3 people who are very senior to virtual design sprints in Alex, Lisa, and Gisela. So you're going to be on a team that's going to be very forward thinking around the process. So that should be pretty interesting. And then there's Pamela as well, who's starting for the first time. So that should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, Sachin, like I said, I'm opening up my wallet. I'm paying for wherever you're going to go, no matter where it is in the world. What kind of vacation do you go on, and what are you going to eat when you get there?
So I will go to Jammu and Kashmir, and there I just have, so there is some mutton curry. They have 7 variety. When you eat a particular mutton, they have 7 to 11 variety for the same mutton, from spicy to sweet. So I don't know that name is, but generally they serve in that way. Yeah, please send me a check for that.
I'm just saying, you just basically send me the bills and then just put them to a PO box, and then they'll get taken care of, and you're fine.
I will do that. So it's very, very cheap for you, because I have to take the bus and I have to be in Jammu and Kashmir. Yeah, don't worry. It will not. It will save you a lot of money for you. Don't worry.
Malika's asking, did you say 11 types of mutton?
Yeah. So there is some kind of particular dish where they have create a dish from spice to sweet, and they serve one by one. That's a particular set of order to serve it.
Knowing how Indians eat, I can almost imagine somebody going and going, no, just tasting, and they go, no, this one. Just but in buffets like that I can go to here in Irving, it's much different. Everything's like kind of in its own part, but still it's the same process. Yes.
Rogan Josh. It's Rogan Josh, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I will search for the name and I will send it to you. Yeah, I had
Yeah, just put
once.
it.
I had once, but yeah, I will have to again.
Yeah, put it in the chat for sure.
Yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
Elisa, who's over on the attendee side, hi. Just want to say hi if you were hanging out there. You're the one attendee after I pulled everybody on the panelist side. So I wanted you to feel like you're just kind of there. So let's say, hello, how are you? We also have a handful of folks on YouTube. So if they're watching, say, hey, how's it going? So everyone have their hand up if you've already done your introductions. And go ahead, Sachin, and pick somebody that has not spoken or doesn't have their
For
hand up.
me, Maria.
Hello. I'm very happy to be here again because for me, GVDS 4 meant an amazing experience. And I really thank Robert for this and the community. I learned so many things, and I managed to be in various teams that helped me to assimilate the process really quick. I didn't believe I could run processes as a facilitator, commercial processes after that, but using the experience and the tools that the great community around GVDS has created for me and a secure learning environment, I got the confidence, and I've done 2 processes so far, and I'm very happy because it works. It works for a country like Romania, where I tried to make the concept of design thinking popular since 3 years ago, and now I can have the confidence to run series of webinars and to explain better the process. It's great because I've seen the mechanism, and I get to know that people are more accustomed to work as single units, and now we are trying to create teams of various experts to solve problems, complex problems. It's a new method for us in Romania. Yeah, for GVDS 4, I guess, Robert, you know that I have some colleagues in Cluj-Napoca who participated, and another professional from an IT company in Bucharest. But we are very few, so it's work in progress. The methodology is great. It helps us solve, for example, the blended learning challenge was great. And now I'm involved in a group that wants to prototype to have solutions for blended learning in Romania, because for us it's a huge problem in here to infuse blended learning. And I wanted to say thank you for being here and forming this community. And I'm very happy to learn more about the tools and the groups. And for me, it's amazing to be in here.
And I'm glad you're back for a second run. So yeah, you're welcome. So a couple things for you. There are 2 people on the call that you're going to be doing a dash with. That would be Nora Scully and Appa. Is it Appa or APA? It's Appa, correct?
Appa.
All right. Yeah.
And
So
Maria and I met last GVDS 5. We had connected on the Femtech Challenge. So it's nice to see you again, Maria.
Nice to see you too, Nora. I wanted to do the challenge as well, but it was too late for me in the midnight time, during midnight times. Yeah, but I'm happy that we will do this together, and I will synchronize schedule better now.
Yeah, we had people in Japan and Australia and in the States, and so we had to pick a time that worked better for Japan, and that cut Europe out.
But now it's great that we can work together and prototype together. Yes, so it's awesome.
Pleasure.
And thank you.
And you're also going to be working with Susanna Childers, who's also someone that's a GVDS alumni, along with, and your team is pretty eclectic on the virtual design sprint side. So you're going to have I think we have a designer from Hawaii that's joining for the first time. There's a product manager that's going to be part of the thing. So Your team on the virtual design sprint side is pretty interesting. One program note to mention, part of the reason why we're giving 2 weeks of preparation before the actual design sprint is so that you can experiment with different methods, different ways of exploring problems in those 2 weeks as time permits. So it doesn't require the entire team to get together, but you'll be able to do exercises like problem framing or storytelling. You may even lean on the person that's facilitating or other people in the group to try out exercises offline. Like Nora probably has a few that she's done in the past that she can say, well, maybe we could try this to explore the problem. And it gives the teams freedom to try to choose and experiment with different ways of thinking about how they can go about using process to come to some sort of conclusion or some sort of direction or solution on what they're thinking about. So I wanted to put that out there, that it isn't just 2 weeks of waiting before your design sprint happens. This is to give you plenty of time to do research, share knowledge, maybe cross-collaborate with different teams if you're taking on similar challenges. And that's kind of the reason why we took a complete 180 from 4 weeks of solid design sprints, which taxed everybody, to 1 solid week of design sprints with the possibility of doing iteration, and then 2 weeks of preparation and exploration by everybody involved. So wanted to put that out there so that that wasn't lost in the conversation we're having right now. And look who happened to show up. Jason Root, everybody, who is another GVDS alumni and probably arguably would stand toe-to-toe with Ken as one of the best in regards to the event itself. So hi, Jason. I just want to make sure we called you out so that you weren't just kind of creeping in the side.
Sorry,
so
I got a
everyone,
meeting that ran over.
That's okay. Well, you're okay now, right? Even though you've ran over, you've recovered and everything's good. Yeah.
That's about it, right?
Okay.
Yeah. All good.
All right, everybody have their hand up that if you've already done your introduction. And Christina, if you have someone that you want to call in that doesn't have their hand up, you have a few to choose from.
Jason.
There you go.
Oh, all right. How does this go? What do I got?
So here's the script. You basically introduced who you are, where you are coming in from, what you're all about in terms of what you love to do as a profession. And then, as always, for every networking event, I have a running list of where you're going to go on vacation. It's all expenses paid trip by me. And what are you going to eat when you get there?
Oh, all right. So I'll start with that. Well, maybe I'll start with my name and then my background. That'll go into that.
Okay.
So Jason Rood, I hail from Chicago suburbs. This is my 3rd or 4th go around. I think I came in GVDS 2, I think. Can't remember. GVDS 2, yeah. So in various roles, like trying out different things, exploring new topics. My current role in my professional life is I work for Hitachi Solutions America. Hitachi makes lots of products, kind of like GE, right? We make anything from tractors to medical equipment, but they also have a huge software development arm. So I help lead product strategy for North America, and my primary responsibility is basically just doing discovery, running design sprints with new clients, and working with Microsoft to do discovery to determine what products in the Microsoft ecosystem will apply to the customer's needs. So that's my primary responsibility. We do tons of design sprints, tons of problem framing, scoping workshops, all types of stuff. I'm actually working on an IoT workshop right now for a really cool dermatology company. So that's it for me. Things I like to do in my spare time. I love fishing, getting out into the outdoors, doing anything that I can get out of my basement. So and that leads me to where would I be on vacation? I'm closing on a
paid vacation.
Yeah. Oh, all expenses paid. Well, I'm closing on a lake house next Friday. So that would probably be my one place that I would want to go and spend a couple weeks and just chill out. And I'm a kind of a burgers and regular barbecue type of thing. So that's probably what I would be doing, but all expenses paid. I have family in Italy, so I'd probably go visit them there.
Very cool. And any particular food you'd eat when you got there?
Oh my goodness. Anything that my cousins will will cook for me. So pastas mainly, right? Pastas and all types of the typical Italian fare. So
very cool. And so you just so you're aware, you and Nora are paired up on the virtual design sprint side. So the both of you will be working together come this upcoming month. And then I believe on the Dash, you're on the 5-person team that includes Caesar, who's also on the call. And the two of you will kind of be exploring that process. And Iva also added herself to that team too. So that should be a pretty interesting mix.
excellent. Looking forward to it.
Cool. And Mohammed just joined as well. And Christina, I was mentioning before that Mohammed was one of the folks that was going to be on your team. He happened to hear my voice and decided to come on the call just to kind of, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, there you go. Now you can put a face to a name and see what they're all about. So Jason, as customary, everyone's going to put their hand up if they've done their introduction. You go ahead and call on somebody that does not have their hand up, and they can go ahead and let you know what they're all about.
All right. I will go to, well, I'll go to Caesar then.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. Happy to be here. My name is Caesar. I'm based in Austin, Texas, and this is going to be my first GVDS sprint, so I'm very excited about it. And I got here because I got tired of taking master classes and reading about design sprints, and I was looking for a community of practitioners where we could actually get to do one. And here we go. My background is in tourism, actually, and for the past 7 years, I was wearing many hats in a travel startup, but mainly I got to design and facilitate experiences for millennials, right? And one of my favorite parts about it was that I got to take people on a journey as a facilitator from the beginning to the end, and the main outcome was to help people explore a country, connect with the local culture, but really connect with the people that we're traveling with, right? And that's one of the things that I really want to develop in my career, is being the facilitator of experiences, of relationships. And that's why community management is one of the things that I'm exploring right now. And being a facilitator doesn't matter what career or what industry you're in. I believe is a skill set of the future, because if you can facilitate conversations, if you can facilitate building relationships and solving a problem, I think it's something that is going to make you stand out. So that's why I'm here, because I want to develop that skill set, especially in a remote environment, which I don't have that much practice in. All of my facilitation has been in person, right, where I get to feed off the energy of the crowd and kind of read the room. So doing that in a virtual environment, it's a little bit of a challenge, but I'm excited because just being here and seeing how diverse our group is and how diverse the community is from backgrounds and experiences, it's exciting. So I can't wait to get started. All expenses paid trip by Robert. Thank you, Robert. You're so generous. And where would I eat? So two places come to mind. First, I would go back home to Nicaragua. That's where my family is. And I would make a quick stop there to give them a big hug, tell them I love them, I miss them. But then after probably 3 days, I'll be like, okay, I'm ready to go to my next destination, which Bali. Bali has a special place in my life. I've been there a couple times, so I'll definitely want to go back there and just get to say hi to old friends and eat food, delicious food, noodles and rice. That's my jam. But I know, Robert, what you're thinking. What about tacos? Always tacos, right? There's always
It's always there. It's part of the equation. And by the way, if you're hearing a baby crying in the background, that's not from Caesar's microphone. That's actually my stomach telling me that I need to eat soon. And it's only getting worse when Caesar's talking about all the food he'd love to eat. So don't let that distract you. That's really coming from, down here. So my stomach is a weird way of telling me that I need to eat. I'm just joking.
Your stomach sounds much like my daughter. That's
yes.
What a coincidence.
It's just as urgent in terms of like it's saying that something has to be done about something. Okay, so Caesar, everyone have your hand up if you've done an introduction already. If you don't see somebody with their hand up, that's the person to call, and you got a couple of options.
All right, I'm gonna go with X-Men. Yes, is that right?
Yeah, right. Hi everyone, this is Lakshman here. I'm from India. I'm from central part of India, a city called Pune. Talking about my background, I'm right now working in the space of Lego serious play and gamification-based facilitation for problem solving in the area of service design, business process management, and customer experience. How I've been here is I got to know about the design GVDS from Fabrice Farag, who is a key person in the Lego Serious Play community. Mm-hmm. Quite often having a lot of discussions, ad hoc discussions around design sprints, LDJs, and looking at how to bring it into the space of integrating with Lego Serious Play. So he recommended me to join this GVDS. I joined the previous sprint, but I could not continue after a day because of some personal priorities. So I said, let me join and take it up. And that's what I'm more focused on, looking at getting a complete exposure and experience to design sprint and then take it back and try to see how it knits well or integrates well in the gamification space and legacy and experiment something out there. And the next question, talking about the all paid vacation, where would I like to go? Robert, thanks a lot. I would prefer to go to a small village near Lisbon in Portugal, which is known for creating board games, custom designed board games as per our requirement using only wood. And they are more conscious on looking at using materials which are natural and organic, and which does not add on to the carbon pileup for the earth. I would, with regards to eating, I don't prefer anything. I would prefer to look for the local food over there. What I've heard is this village has a lot of board gaming clubs, wherein these board game manufacturers play for the entire day. They eat, they drink, and they spend the entire day. And that's where they germinate ideas for new board games and they design it. So I'm looking forward to spend there and try to see how I can design something in the space of digital transformation or business transformation in the country.
Very cool. And for reference, Laxman, you're going to be working with Martin on the Dash side. You have I think it's an early morning for me kind of engagement with him, but he's going to be along with Americo and Manu. You two, for the 4-person team, you'll be kind of working with them through the Dash process. And then even though no one's on the call now from your team, there's Iva's going to be, you're the team 1, you're the early morning team for me. But on your side, I think in Australia, well, in India, I think it's closer to about probably 1 p.m. where you are. So yeah. Cool. So I think we only have one person left, so we don't need to raise our hands anymore. I think there's the man of the hour that's going to basically make this entire thing so entertaining, so amazing that we really don't have, we're really going to forget everybody else's introductions when Mohammed comes online and tells us what he's all about.
Okay. Thank you very much, Robert. Okay, so basically I'm living in Lebanon. I came from management information technology background with executive MBA in operation management. So I worked in across multiple industries, from heavy manufacturing industry to telecommunication. Currently, I'm working as a product manager for a startup I have. It's called Gardar, for business development and IT consultation. And I also worked a second job as an internal process supervisor in a factory that produces kitchens and office furnitures. So, and I participated in a couple of design sprints before, and I facilitated some of the exercises within them. So basically, I'm here to communicate, collaborate, share whatever information I have, and gain more confidence in facilitating design sprint. Maybe exploring different approaches or processes in design sprint, different one from like Asian Smart Masterclass. Yeah, and that's it. And yeah, I recently actually finished like a sponsorship from a program from Facebook for product management. It's basically Facebook like sponsored a program to graduate 500 product manager in the region between Egypt and Lebanon. So yeah, I was lucky to be one of them, thanks God. So maybe I came like in here in fresh mind, fresh information, I don't know. So it could be good. Yeah, and that's it for me. About the vacation, I would like to visit Germany, explore their cultures, and about the food, of course, exploring the food culture there. So yeah.
And okay, great.
This is the-
And for reference, you, like I said, you were working with Christina on the design sprint side, and Ken Soto is also going to be somebody you're working with on the Dash side. So you have those two particular individuals to work with. And that goes through with introductions. We're right at the top of the hour with 5 minutes left. So I guess what we can do is, rather than we can get into some Q&A really fast to see if there's anything that the people who are new to GVDS want to ask anyone that's been around for a while. So maybe we can field questions right to the top of the hour. Nora and Malika had to drop off. But before we do, we'll do a group shot with the hands and just kind of have fun with that. But for now, does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask any of the GVDS alumni? So you can just basically come on mic and just ask an open-ended question. And then any of us that have been through the ringer, which is, okay, well, then go, by all means, go for it. Or did you say you have a question?
Basically, I was wondering, maybe you already addressed those questions in some of your videos, but I don't know. So my question is, are they like going to be like a unified process across all the team to conduct the design sprint, like unified template and the tools and etc.? Or each team like going to have a different approach in running their design sprint? And the second question is, are the session going to be recorded? Can be revisited within the event or after the event? And sorry, last question. And another question, like, are we having the chance to see other team processes or design sprint, their challenges? Yeah, so that's all. Thank you, Robert.
Okay, I can answer them really fast. I'll start backwards and go forwards because I'm blanking on the first question, but I'll come back to it. The first one is being able to see what other teams do. In the past, we've allowed it, but this time around, it's going to be something where the teams it'll have to be something that the teams have to work out. So some teams will be open, some will just kind of want it closed, and then they'll stream what they do so that their work is kind of focused and contained. But it really will just depend on the nature of the team in terms of they're good with that. Recording the sessions, by default, I encourage it so that you can go back and have that reference point if you need to. I usually record everything into the cloud and Zoom, and it's for me. But it'll just depend on if someone needs a license from me to have a Zoom account, or if they have something else in mind on their side of things that they want to use, then that's up to them. I will be encouraging teams to stream, whether it's through Restream or something else, so that there's some sort of historical narrative about what you've done, especially if you want to point back and say, this is how I work really well, or if you just want to show people what you're doing in terms of process. I'll be providing instructions on how to do that. And your first question, I don't remember what it was. What was the very first question you asked?
Is there a unified process across all the team for conducting design sprint, one template, one flow? That's it.
Yeah, there will be a base template set that you'll have. And then depending on the skill sets and the talents on the team, you can take particular things out you don't need. And you can add things in that you say, well, if we want to do, instead of crazy eights, let's do this exercise to do a little bit of ideation. or instead of doing this exercise to do this part, I've had really good experience at user experience mapping. Here's a template for that. Let's go ahead and use it. So there'll be the base template set, and then I'll have some examples where you can kind of extract certain things and put things in and provide you with some context on how to do that. And it'll be before the week's up, you'll have the ability as a team to kind of talk about how you want to construct the week. And so, yeah, Ken, so there's a question about, does the GVDS only happen once a year? It's usually twice. So I've usually been able to produce it twice. And then next year it'll be a slightly different. I think I'm going to have it more frequently, but it'll be a little bit smaller. So it will be as this massive one. But this is a kind of a nice size, but we'll see. It's going to be a little bit different next year. I got time for one more. Who else would like to ask a question? Or a trio of questions, if you want. Kind of put them all in a batch.
I have a question. Can I just go?
Yeah.
I think I asked earlier as well, like regarding the roles and responsibilities, is this something that we then just come into the team and decide who does what? In terms of like hierarchy, in terms of leading the group, is that always the facilitator who leads it? Or how does the work in terms of internal, like let's say, organization?
Usually you
That
want
was one question. You said trio,
okay.
And I have one more regarding the testing part. Are our other members who we interview and test, or do we actually go out and actually ask real people and then test it with those people again when we have our prototypes?
For the second question, do any of the people that have been through the virtual design sprint want to answer that? Ken or
Yep, I can
Jason?
answer that. It depends. If you have an opportunity, like in the last one I did, we did have an opportunity to reach out to a particular group of people to do user testing with them.
Yep.
If there isn't time or circumstance to do it, then you just have to pull people where you can get them. So it just depends. That's my
People
answer.
are pretty scrappy. I would say that, yeah. It depends. But you'd be surprised on how scrappy we can get in trying to get the right people in the room. So
yeah.
It usually works out in some capacity. We may not get 5, but we get close enough.
All right.
Plus, you can record everything. So if somebody does an interview on its own, nobody has to be. The whole team doesn't have to be there to witness it. You can just basically record it, have people put their observation notes as they watch it on their own time, and then that still kind of produces the data set you're looking for to get the opinions that you're after.
Actually, that's probably the recommended approach. That makes it easy for everybody.
Yeah. And roles will be a conversation on your team. I think if you have a team that's facilitator heavy, then it may be wise to say, okay, well, why don't we take turns facilitating certain activities? But there's one primary one that kind of has the management logistics and kind of goes through that. The thing I am going to make sure of this time around is that the facilitator isn't carrying all the pails of water, so to speak, which has been an issue with previous engagements. It is going to be a shared experience, and that every day we'll have a script to say, like, here's typically what people do. So that it's not Jason, like he has sometimes, to basically do huge summaries, spend lots of time, or a designer that does a 24-hour marathon to get a prototype in front of people to test. It's going to be a little bit different this time, so that it's going, okay, here's the sandbox you should be in, and where other people can kind of help out, so that the level of effort across that week and maybe the iteration sprint is going to be more level set, and people kind of know what their roles and responsibilities are, or even if it's a role that's doing different things, how that would go.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good.
Okay, so we're 2 minutes over. Let's do one last group shot before we close out. What we've done in the past is just basically, usually it's props around your desk, but instead what we've been doing lately that's been really well is we just basically do a facial expression or something with your hands that expresses how you feel so far about how things are going with the GVDS. It could be like you're not sure. It could be like you're like, I'm confident, whatever it is. Something that could convey what you're kind of thinking and feeling about the event so far as it's coming up to it. If it's indecision, you're just kind of like, I'm still thinking about it, whatever it may be. I'll give you 10 seconds to think about what you're going to be doing in terms of going in front of the camera, and I'll take a shot, and I'll make that part of the social network that we're doing later. So think about the pose, think about how you're feeling about things are so far. And I'm going to start a countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there you go. Ready? All right, there you go. Thank you very much for coming to the networking event. We got another one coming up at 2:00, but if one's enough for you, that's good enough. Have yourself a great weekend. You'll be seeing a lot more from me next week about challenges, teams, kickoffs, and all that stuff. All right. Good to meet you all from the brand new. For those who've been around, good to see you as well.
Thanks, Robert, as always.
Bye-bye.